Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were up about 0.3 to 0.4% and some of the data points like consumer spending data came in a little better than expectation. There was a growth of about 0.1%, but overall for the whole month of August it was one of the worst performing month for the US markets. European markets were also down about 1 to almost about 1.5% as the unemployment level in the Eurozone continues to remain at high level. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Japan is up almost about 0.8%. Hang Seng is very strong and is up almost about 1.75%. As in the morning we had the Chinese final PMI manufacturing data, which came in at about 50.1 versus about 47.7 in the previous month. So we are seeing a lot of action in the metal stocks on the back of that. For our markets also, we had seen that in the past, whenever the Chinese data comes out as a little better than expectations, we see a good amount of action in the metal pack. Also, most of the other Asian markets are up about 0.25 to almost about 0.5%. The 10-year bond yield in US have spiked up to about 2.77, and the Brent crude has come down to almost about 112 to 113 levels, against about 116, as the immediate strike or military action in Syria has been averted, as President Obama also has called for a Congress go ahead before the strikes begin. So at least for a week or so it looks like that we would not have any military action. Talking about the flows, friends, FIs were net sellers in the cash market to the tune of about 79 crore. The domestic institutions were biased to the tune of about 731 crore. And in the futures, index futures market, the FIs were sellers to the tune of about 154 crore. Back home, friends, our markets have almost recovered about 350 points on the Nifty from the lowest level of about 5150 or thereabouts. And the Sensex has recovered almost about 1100 points. So we think that there is a kind of case for some kind of a consolidation around current levels. Though some of the data points like GDP that came out at 4.3% or thereabouts is much weaker, but most of that it looks like has been priced in. Rupee also recovered to almost about 65.3. Actually it was up almost 85 paisa, as we had seen some kind of a recovery in most of the emerging market currencies. On that note, let me invite Sadhna to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. On first day of September expiry, we have seen a huge volatility, but somehow markets have showed some resilience at lower levels and closed the session near day's high with a marginal gain of 0.77%. In this period, we have seen short positions were built up by market participants, as around 27.62 lakh shares were added in open interest and Nifty futures turned into a discount of 15 points from the premium of 6 points. And put call ratio also increased further from 1.16 to 1.22. It is indicating put option has added around 75 lakh shares in open interest, whereas call option has added around 39 lakh shares in open interest, which is clearly visible in the options activity. As we see from the strike of 5000 to 5700, put option has seen a good number of accumulation in open interest, and call strike of 5400 followed by 5500 has seen a good number of accumulation in open interest, and implied volatility also decreased by 4 to 5%. It is indicating overall our bias for the market is positive, and we may see buying may continue to emerge at lower levels. From intraday perspective, one can go long on Century Textile with a stop loss of 216.15. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, on Friday, Q1 GDP number came out at about 4.4%, which is the slowest pace in the last 4 years that we have seen, and as against the market expectation of 4.7%, it was lower to the tune of about 0.3%. Particularly affected were the industry data, where there was a contraction of 0.8%, and the agriculture and allied sector grew by about 2.7%. Most of these things are known in the market, so there may not be immediate negative reaction, but the concerning fact is that there might be some more downgrades going forward, which is not good from a market standpoint. Coming to the company specific news, some negative news for HDIL, as its plea against the MIAL for interim relief has been dismissed, as the company has not performed the construction work. So there could be some negative reaction in HDIL stock in today's market. The auto sales number are out for the month of August, wherein Mahindra reported almost about 17% kind of a degrowth, and Tata Motors also reported a 31% kind of a degrowth, and TVS Motor there was a bit of a growth at 0.57%. So we are expecting some negative reaction in the Mahindra stock in today's market. In another development, MCX chairman Venkat Chari and 5 other directors of the commodity exchange have resigned as the age criteria have not been fulfilled by them, which is definitely a bit of a setback for MCX. And in another important development, the Swiss firm which has been hired by the commodity regulator to inspect the stock at the warehouses have discovered that the actual stock or inventory at the warehouses was less than 20% of the amount, and at few places they were not even allowed to enter to check the inventory. So this definitely is getting worse for NSCL. Bharti Airtel has emerged as a front runner for acquiring a stake in the Loop Mobile, where Khetans, who are based out of Dubai, have a controlling stake, and they have indicated to exit. So Bharti Airtel could actually acquire a stake there, and petrol prices have been hiked on the Friday by about 2.35 per litre, and diesel prices have been hiked by about 50 paise per litre. This, friends, is too little compared to the way we have seen the crude prices going up and the rupee has depreciated. So there might be one-time increase once the monsoon session of the parliament gets over. Coming to the ideas that one can really look at doing today, Hindalco, we are expecting some uptick as the Chinese official manufacturing data which came out at 51 were much better than expectations. So one can go long on Hindalco with a stop loss of 102 and a target of about 109 to 112. Sesa Goa also one can go long as the there is a move to plan a tax cut on some of the iron ore exports of low grade to 20% from 30%. So one can go long on Sesa Goa with a stop loss of 185 and a target of about 196 to 200. And Mahindra, as the auto number has been weaker than expectations and there was a negative growth of about 17.32%, one can short Mahindra in today's market. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.